Female domestication, how women control men and relationships. In many relationships, women often wield more influence than men. A typical scenario involves a woman taking charge of the relationship, positioning herself as the prize, establishing a provider frame for the man, and subsequently using emotional rewards or consequences to maintain control. In this session, you will gain insights into the dynamics of how women exert control over men and discover effective strategies to liberate yourself from such influence. How women domesticate men. In the majority of relationships, women often assume leadership roles. They take the initiative and establish authority over men by adopting the judge's role within the relationship. What does this entail? It signifies that they seize control of the framework dictating what is right or wrong, appropriate or inappropriate, and the standards of behavior. Men seldom challenge her established framework, essentially conforming to her rules. To reinforce her perspective in everyday life, she employs the following tools of compliance. Drama and nagging, setting priorities and emphasizing importance. Blaming and criticism, placing him on the defensive. Shaming, an influential compliance strategy. Through these three tools, she effectively assumes the role of the relationship leader, enabling her to assign tasks to him, ensuring he can provide for her and contribute to her happiness. Let's delve into how this dynamic unfolds in specific situations. 1. Drama and nagging. Drama and nagging serve as tools for women to influence compliance and behavior. Nagging. Nagging operates as a lasting and semi-permanent method for altering behavior. It functions, in part, through the principles of behaviorism, employing conditioning through rewards and punishments. Adhering to desired actions leads to happiness, and possibly rewards, while failing to comply results in a loss of favor and incurs nagging repercussions, negative reinforcement. I am quoting clinical psychologist and Ph.D. Harriet Brakert directly in this context. It's worth noting that she is a woman. Nagging is the human equivalent of shock grids to the rat. Over time, he internalizes the set rules. As a result, nagging implants a voice in his mind, causing him to feel guilty when he deviates from the established rules, her rules. Eventually, he conforms to her expectations. Nagging establishes the hierarchy of priorities, signaling a demand for personal change. Similar to how water shapes rock gradually, persistent nagging exerts subtle, prolonged pressure that, over time, molds the man according to her desires. Drama. While nagging serves as a tool for long-term behavioral modification, drama is a highly focused, intense compliance tool, akin to a concentrated laser beam. If nagging establishes priorities regarding what's important, drama emphasizes what is urgent. Nagging communicates a sense of, "you're not okay," whereas drama signals, "what you are doing right now is not okay, take immediate action to change it." The key to drama lies in the infusion of emotions. Women invest significant emotional intensity and passion into drama, presenting it with a self-righteous attitude that conveys a strong sense of being in the right. Given that men typically do not engage in drama and are less accustomed to such emotionally charged and assertive communication, it proves particularly effective in short-circuiting their thought processes. This often leads men to treat it as a genuine emergency, overlooking its nature as a compliance tool. If you're a guy reading this and reflecting on your past relationships, consider how often you have challenged her drama. Chances are, if you're like most guys, it's a rare occurrence. Most men tend to take responsibility for her drama and prioritize fixing it without questioning its nature. Nagging and drama equals judge power tools. Both nagging and drama function as tools for punishment and compliance within the dynamics of the judge's power position. They both convey messages such as, "you are not fulfilling your responsibilities," and "you are not meeting the required standard of behavior." Whether consciously or unconsciously, she utilizes these tools to shape him according to her preferences. 2. Blaming and criticism. Blaming and criticism are tools of verbal aggression, and many men, often unaware of power dynamics, instinctively defend themselves when faced with these verbal attacks. However, when a man defends himself in such situations, he inadvertently communicates several things. Admits guilt. Confirms that she is in charge. Affirms his role is to serve her and make her happy. In response to their partner's emotional outbursts, many men, taken aback by the attacks, react in various ways. Getting defensive, not ideal. Making excuses, terrible. Attempting to fix the issue, not effective, as it doesn't address the aggressive delivery. Engaging in a verbal confrontation, somewhat effective, but may appear overreactive. Requesting her to calm down, not helpful. Trying to understand the underlying issue, works in some instances but doesn't address the blaming issue. While understanding the real issue behind a complaint is crucial, it doesn't necessarily address the fundamental problem. This approach, known as looking beyond the complaint by relationship researcher Gottman, has its merits but doesn't delve into the dynamics of power. The real issue at hand is the use of verbal abuse and coercive tactics to assert dominance. A man should address this aspect first, the way she approaches the issue, before tackling the specific problem. Even if he acknowledges a mistake, defending himself fails to address the core issue, her aggressive communication style. Moreover, defending reinforces her power frame, reinforcing the notion that he must serve her and fulfill her demands accurately. This aggressive communication approach contributes negatively to the overall health of the relationship. How to deal with blaming. This is how you handle being blamed. Instead of dwelling on the superficial issue, remain calm and collected as you address the heart of the matter. By acknowledging your mistake, you shield yourself from further attacks. When you make your criticism more specific and emotionally charged, you strategically engage in the same game, putting her on the defensive. Once she admits to overreacting or acknowledges that aggression isn't the solution, communicate something along these lines. By doing this, you address the power dynamics and establish that you won't be a target for her anger. With this foundation, you can then explore the root causes of the specific issue at hand. To uncover these root causes, consider your priorities. If you find that you don't care about the particular issue, such as cheese shopping, and don't want it to be a recurring task, hand the responsibility back to her. Clearly express that, since you have no interest in cheese, you're likely to forget again in the future and won't assume any responsibility for stocking up on it. Going forward, she takes charge of what matters to her. 3. Shaming. Shame stands out as the potent superpower within the judge's role, serving as a tool for psychological aggression and compliance. According to researcher Brené Brown, shame capitalizes on our inherent need for love and basic respect, inflicting punishment through scorn, isolation, and the cultivation of feelings of unworthiness. In relationships, when women employ shame, they target something deeply ingrained in every man, the perceived essence of masculinity. Some of the most impactful attacks on manhood involve labeling him as unsuccessful, weak, impotent, or using derogatory terms like pussy. The power of shame intensifies when societal norms align with the accusation, effectively placing the entire society in a judgmental position against him. This is particularly evident in expectations around traits like strength, provider roles, and the protection of women. Men internalize these societal values, allowing women to subtly manipulate their sense of manhood within relationships. Women can use shame strategically to confine men to traditional provider roles, potentially hindering their pursuit of personal goals and dreams. While some may argue that shaming is justified in cases involving children who need to be provided for, women often expand the scope of what it means to be a man to align with their desires. This becomes unhealthy and manipulative when not part of a balanced relationship of give and take. It's crucial to distinguish between a high-quality provider and leader of the relationship who willingly supports a kind partner, and a submissive or unwitting individual being manipulated. In cases where shaming is fair, it should align with the principles of fairness and balance within the relationship. How to deal with shaming. The practice of shaming by women broadens the definition of being a real man to suit their needs. If you wish to liberate yourself from this pressure, you can either establish your own definition or entirely dismiss the concept of being a real man. 4. Tasking. Tasking lies at the heart of how women exert control over their partners. Drama, criticism, and nagging serve as auxiliary tools to ensure compliance with tasks deemed significant by the woman. Many women initiate tasking early in a relationship as a means to assess a man's commitment. The more he fulfills these tasks, the higher the likelihood of his commitment and investment, making tasking an early screening tool for providers. Tasking may commence innocently, such as asking him to fetch napkins at a bar or hold a shopping cart. For some men, particularly those perceived as strong and independent, tasking and shaming may intensify only after full commitment to the relationship. It might be surprising for men to witness an abrupt surge in their partner's demands following major commitment milestones like exclusivity, official status, or marriage. Initially, the man might have been in charge, resisting attempts at drama and tasking. However, this doesn't mean the effort to domesticate him ceases, it's merely temporarily paused. This hiatus persists until her power increases, often after reaching a significant commitment milestone. In handling her orders, it's crucial for the man to escalate the way she directs him. After addressing her aggression, if he promised to set the table, he should follow through according to his approach. If not, he should engage in a genuine conversation, discussing who took on the responsibility for organizing dinner. If she assigned the task to herself, he can express willingness to help, emphasizing the importance of respectful communication. The more he complies with tasks, the more it becomes the norm, influenced by cognitive dissonance, which suggests that the more he fulfills her tasks, the more he internalizes it as the correct course of action. Through back rationalization, he is more likely to justify his actions by convincing himself that she must be worth it. Thus, through tasks, she not only increases her control but also effectively positions herself as the prized element within the relationship. How to deal with tasking. Assess your capabilities and limitations, recognize that you're no longer a boy, and your goal isn't to emulate one. In a relationship, adjustments and compromises are necessary, but it doesn't mean you have to fulfill every request. Consider what you can and cannot do, communicate this clearly, and assertively establish your boundaries. This proactive approach will significantly reduce drama, nagging, and tasking. Return her tasks to sender. Similar to the approach with blaming, a full circle strategy is effective here. Tasks that hold importance for her but not for you are rightfully hers. Execute the responsibilities you agreed upon, and kindly request her to handle her own tasks. Enforce these boundaries firmly if she attempts to shift her responsibilities onto you. Tasking plus drama plus shaming equals trapped. When a man displays resistance or is slow to take action, a woman may employ a combination of tools simultaneously. Drama, intensifying the urgency and importance of the action. Shame, implying, take action, or you're not a real man. Tasking, conveying a straightforward directive to get the task done. It's worth noting that drama often inherently involves elements of shame without explicitly targeting masculinity. This is because many men feel a responsibility for their partner's happiness and perceive doing things as their duty, even if it specifically means doing things for her. Not taking action, especially when she is emotionally charged, carries a sense of shame for men, and women, often unintentionally, leverage this dynamic. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss any new videos. Let us know your thoughts about this video in the comments section down below, and feel free to stay and enjoy it until the end. Also make sure to check out our next highlighted video, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.